how long ago? It's been 34 years since I first came to Nepal. I joined the Peace Corps right after college, and I had no idea what I was getting myself in for. We began as a training group of 22 new volunteers. But village life was harsh, with chronic disease, terrible isolation, and emotional shock. In less than a year, half of us had quit and gone home. My Peace Corps job was to teach science in a village school, all in the Nepali language. I wanted somehow to help make the world a better place. But living in that remote village and trying to teach was the hardest thing I've ever done. The only thing that made it possible was the support and the friendship of my host father, Krishnabhagta Himalaya. He and his wife and their kids were my family. Without them, I couldn't have survived. But I've been away for 3 decades. Since then, Nepal has suffered 10 years of a Maoist civil war. And the massacre of the royal family. And another generation of deep poverty. And I've lost contact with my Nepali family. Let's go. Now, 30 years later, I'm going back, before it's too late. I need to find out what's become of my village and my family. Is Krishnabhagta alive? Is my school still there? Does anyone in my village even remember me? Life in my village in Islukarka with my family and my students was intense and uplifting and so outrageously foreign that I felt compelled to write about it. The book that resulted has since been published and republished. I brought a copy of it with me, hoping to present it to Krishnabhagta, if I can find him. Hello? During these 4 days that I have here in Kathmandu, I first need to recover from 12 hours of jet lag. I need to relearn as much of the language as I can. And finally, I have to figure out how to get back to my village.
So road savings are very cheap price with 50 years guarantee. Life under very cheap.
Your mandala, your food eyes, and your home money,
Kathmandu has always been an exotic place. But now, with the population 8 times what it used to be, the expansion hits me like a slap in the face. Crowds, pollution, commercialism, and noise. Traffic used to be just a couple of bicycle rickshaws. Now these same streets are filled with motorbikes and private cars. I used to cross the street without hardly looking, but now getting across has become a dangerous game of chicken. The only things that haven't changed are the old shrines. 1,000-year-old Hindu pagoda is still a 1,000-year-old Hindu pagoda. I used to feel connected to Kathmandu. I used to feel like I belonged here. But now I'm just another foreigner, but filled with old memories of how things used to be. I'm like a walking human time capsule. Kathmandu is one of those special places where Buddhism and Hinduism are intermingled. Pilgrims have been coming here to the Swayambhunath Buddhist shrine for over 15 centuries. Hindus pray with offerings of food and flowers, while Buddhists pray with spinning prayer wheels and flapping prayer flags. As long as the Tibetan text is moving, a blessing is being delivered. Months before this trip, I began studying Nepali at home with flashcards, trying to relearn the language. Now that I'm back, I've decided to take a lesson at a private language school.
एउटा धारा थियो एउटा धारा अनि तपाईं यो धारामा नुहाउनु भयो तर त्यो बेला धेरै थिए
गाउँमा दिनको दिन भोक लाग्थ्यो
किन
खाना
पुग्दैन थियो
My original Peace Corps language training was just 3 months long. And after that, I was expected to teach science totally in Nepali language. And not just speak it, I had to read it and write it. After a search, I've found the site of the old Peace Corps office. Over a span of 4 decades, some 4,000 Peace Corps volunteers picked up their mail and got their typhoid injections here. It was a place to speak English, a refuge in the middle of Kathmandu.
Last time I was here, this wall wasn't here. This was where the Peace Corps office was. And this used to be just a little tiny path. There was like no traffic, no cars. There's fields here. And now instead of the Peace Corps office, there's this wall and this like huge busy street.
The Peace Corps itself pulled out of Nepal almost a decade ago, at the height of the Civil War, when the Maoist army bombed the U.S. Cultural Center. Nepal was deemed unsafe for Americans. Before coming, I had searched for information about Islukarka, my village. I found an article describing violations against children during the war. And I was stunned when I read that the Maoist army had abducted 200 students from my village, trying to force them to become soldiers. Then I found a satellite photo in which I spotted my old school, but the building had no roof. It looked destroyed. For some reason, the Maoists must have destroyed the school.
पैसा लाग्दैन
पैसा लाग्दैन तपाईँले अहिले दिइसक्यो तपाईँलाई पैसा
ल फेरि तल नमस्ते Rainy day is a good time to check out the news. Here's an interesting one. Maoist minister's aide in jail for fraud. And that's ironic because the Maoists started as a armed insurrection trying to overthrow the government because there was such corruption and stagnation in governance. And now they are one of the 3 major political parties. They're fighting it out. And they're being accused of the same kind of corruption and fraud and stagnation in government that all the other political parties were. For 2.5 centuries, the king was the government. He was viewed as a god. Now, in the span of a generation, the monarchy has been demonized by the Maoists. The king murdered by his own son. And a war fought, resulting in some 13,000 dead and the end of the monarchy. These brand new political parties are now struggling to create a new form of government, to write a constitution. With the war finally over, the country is developing, with buildings going up and new businesses.
There aren't a lot of outward signs of the war, like bombed out buildings. And it's safe to travel here again. Tourists are coming back. With all the construction of new roads, I need to get a map to find my way back to my village.
Namaste. I'm looking for a map to down to Sipagat or Panchkal, Lamidada,
Okay, all right. So you want to trek for Helambu, yeah?
near Helambu,
Okay.
near south of Helambu.
We got some. Okay, trek map. This one for you. This one.
Let's see.
You can take whole Nepal map.
This is the first time that I've ever seen my village named on a map, Islukarka. Still, it's kind of troubling that I need a map to find my way home. After leaving Islukarka over the years, it became harder and harder to stay in touch with my Nepali family. I was forgetting the language, and then the war made travel impossible. During this past year, I wrote 2 letters to Krishna Bhakta, but I never got an answer.
In Nepali culture, being alone is a really, really horrible thing. You can't possibly enjoy life, enjoy the world if you're by yourself. And in the village, particularly the beginning of the village, I was very much alone. And Krishna Bhakta, he knew I was alone, and he would come and sit with me for an hour or 2 hours each night, talk with me, help me learn the language. Before he would go off to bed, we would listen to the news in Nepali, and he would try to explain things because I couldn't hardly understand any of it. And he was like my friend, he was a mentor, he was the head of the household, he was a big chunk of my life. I can't imagine what my life in the village would have been without Krishna Bhakta. And now I'm heading home to see what's become of him. And he was in his mid-40s when I was there. That would make him in his late 70s now. And I don't even know if he's going to be there.
I'm finally on my way out of Kathmandu. In the old days, there were just 3 or 4 buses a day headed north toward the Tibetan border. Now there's a bus every 20 minutes. The trip will take 3 days. Today, leaving Kathmandu and going mostly east on the bus to Lamidada. Tomorrow, walking north, up the track to the bridge at Sipagat. And the last day, climbing the mountain to Islukarka. I remember the first time I came up this road. I was sick with amoebic dysentery. My closest friend from Peace Corps training had just quit and gone back to the US. He felt at risk of an emotional collapse. life in the village was really tough on both our physical and emotional health. A stream of volunteers had mental breakdowns and were escorted back to the US. But for me back then, I tried to focus on what was ahead of me, and I was excited about the adventure of it all. I had been dreaming about this for years. Along this road is where I got my first view of the high Himalaya. I climbed during school holidays, even during the monsoon. Climbing for me was like a psychic catharsis, replacing the emotional isolation of the village with the physical isolation of the mountains. In time, I found myself venturing alone to the summit of some very nasty Himalayan peaks. Lamidada used to be just a dusty little truck stop. Now it's a dusty big truck stop. But surprisingly, I find a small lodge where I get a room for the night. Today I can finally start hiking. From here the main road goes to Tibet, but I'll be taking a little sidetrack that heads up the river.
Namaste. Sipagat jani batu ho? Sipagat jani.
No tourist shops here, and no one seems surprised that I speak Nepali. Most people in rural Nepal have never met anyone who doesn't speak Nepali. This used to be just a trail. A road has been built, but instead of getting a ride, it somehow feels important to walk the whole way, like I used to. There are an awful lot of trucks, all carrying gravel.
E America? Hey Tata. America kono. När du kan sikta på byggan. Med byggan för downy. Vi bajsarna. Ice-lukarka. Tada ice-lukarka ta China? No? Going to school? I'll see you later. Bye.
These girls have never heard of a school in Ice-Lukarka. You'd think that students would know about the other schools in their own district. That is, if Ice-Lukarka still has a school. Peace Corps volunteers built bridges like this all over Nepal. Besides saving hours of hiking during the summer monsoon rains, they are the only safe way across the river. if all goes right, by tomorrow I should reach Islukarka. I might soon learn what's become of some of my students. I keep thinking about the first time that I met Krishna Bhakta. I had no idea how important he would be to my life in the village. If he's still alive, he'll be more than 20 years older than the average life expectancy for Nepal. The rest of the family will be older too. Amma, who worked almost constantly, the two brothers, Mahendra and Surendra, I had both of them in class, and little Neelam, one of the few girls in the village who got the chance to attend school. In the early monsoon, the weather alternates between pouring rain and roasting hot. My favorite way to cool off is to try and find some water and soak my shirt. This is the Nepal I fell in love with. Calm and green, where I feel like I'm part of things, connected with the place. This is the first view that I really clearly remember. That's the Indrawati River and the houses of Sipagat. Somewhere down there is the big suspension bridge. This hasn't changed at all. There, on the top of that third ridge, is Islukarka. From here I can see what all the trucks are doing. It's a commercial business dredging gravel from the riverbed that is trucked away for road construction. I just wonder who actually owns the gravel, and if the local people earn any real profit from the sale. Years ago, Sipagat was nothing, not even a tea stall. Now there's a road with shops and businesses for pasteurizing milk and for selling building supplies. I keep running Nepali sentences through my mind, reviewing grammar and vocabulary. But real fluency in another language is much more than just memorizing words. It's learning to think in a whole new way. It's a process of actually becoming another person. The traditional Nepali meal is dal bhat, rice with lentils and a bit of vegetable. For 2 years, this is just about all I ate. Twice a day, every day. That's how it was. Before leaving Sipagat, I want to buy some cloth. I'm hoping to have a shirt made for me when I get up to my village, a traditional shirt, a kurta, so that I will feel more like I belong.
Namaste. Namaste. Like cup of the chansa.
Let's go.
Kati pa?
450.
Crossing this final bridge means leaving behind the world of roads and machinery, and a return to ancient Nepal, carrying things on your back and walking everywhere. When I think about my Nepali family, I feel guilty that over the years I couldn't maintain contact with them. Besides the war, I found that with writing letters, I just couldn't bridge the gap of time and distance. And I couldn't connect the Nepali person that I am here with the foreign person that I was in the US. With each step upward, the countryside feels more and more familiar, until suddenly I'm lost.
Crap. I could go straight. I could go left. I could go to the right. Or I might be totally in the wrong place. Alright. Left it is. I'm starting to worry about what it's going to be like when I get there. I've been gone for 30 years. How do you react to somebody that was in your neighborhood for 2 years and left for 30 years? Will anybody even remember who I am? And that's kind of a disconcerting feeling to come this far and not know if Krishna Bhakta's around, not know if my students are around, not know if the school's functioning, and not even certain of what my reception is going to be.
Halfway up the mountain, I run into those same milk carriers that I saw down by the river.
दुधको प्रति लिटर 50-55 रुपैयाँ
भैँसीको दुध बाइक
भैँसीको गाईको
दुबई तपाईँ स्कुल न पढेको
स्कुल पढेको छ थोरै
कति क्लास
8 कक्षा पैसा भएन पढ्न सकेन अहिले उ त्यस्तो क्यान भारी बोकेर हिँडिरहेछ सर के गर्ने सर पैसा रहेछ सबैभन्दा ठुलो कुरो
के गर्ने यस्तै के गर्ने भन्छ के गर्ने
हाम्रो नेपालीमा चुड्की बजाउने भन्छ चुड्की बजाउने
With each conversation, my fluency in Nepali improves. Words that I haven't used in 3 decades suddenly pop into my head. I'm rediscovering the Nepali me who had ceased to exist years ago.
Namaste! Namaste, Bane! Namaste! स्कुल कहाँ जाने बाटो यतै हो ल हामी जाऊ रेडी तल नमस्ते
Coming to the top of the ridge, I know that I'm close to the village, but the trail turns a strange way. I'm nervous and trembling, not knowing what I will find.
Namaste. Krishna Bhakta ko gar yaad tha? Krishna Bhakta ko gar. I Krishna Bhakta ko gar.
Krishna Bhakta. Thank you. म बाटो हेरेर बसेको खै त बच्चा
कस्तो भयो
कसलाई खवायो हिँडेर आउनु भएको अनि बस आएको थियो अघि
आएको तर मलाई हिँडेर मनपर्छ तपाईँ थाहा छ My God,
अनि मलाई चिन्नुहुन्छ त
चिन्छु
को
तपाईँको नाम राम्रोसँग छैदैन त
महेन्द्र
It's Mahendra, the second son. How could I not recognize him? Except that instead of a teenager, he's now almost 50 years old.
물어봐요. 있어봐.
हामीहरू गुरुभाइ
हामी बुढो भयो
हामीहरू बुढो भयो होइन
ऊ बुढो भयो
यस्तो रहेछ कहाँ छ
काठमाडौँ
काठमाडौँमा निलम
काठमाडौँ ऊ छोरी ऊ निलमको छोरी
निलमको छोरी
मेरो छोरी मेरो छोरी हो यो छ
Seeing Krishna Bhakta's grandchildren more than anything else brings home to me how much time has passed. A whole generation has gone by. Krishna Bhakta looks about the same, just older. Mahendra still lives here, now with his wife and a daughter. Surendra and Neelam have moved to Kathmandu. That just leaves Mohan Devi, the mother of our family, Amma.
मेरो पुरानो कता यी बाइसिकल चले बस्छ नमस्ते देवी कस्तो छ कस्तो भयो बुढो भयो होइन बुढो भयो होइन के भयो बुढो
This is my family. Even after 30 years, this is still my family. The house is the same. It feels like home. It sounds like home. It even smells like home.
My room's been turned into a kitchen. The great thing about this room is it's tall enough I can stand without hitting my head. And now Mohan Devi is cooking dal bhat. And this is where Krishna Bhakta has his meals and sits at my window and looks out at the Himalayas when it's clear weather. And it's the best view of the village here. I had a lot of room here, my bed here, a table where I grade papers and write tests. We have windows on all three sides of this room. Water buffalo and the cow still live down underneath. It's the best place in the village.
What a relief, knowing that my family is well. Apparently they did get one of my letters. Now, being here for real, seeing Krishna Bhakta and Amma, and speaking Nepali again, it's almost too much. My mind is spinning. And I'm troubled, worried about the school. What happened when the Maoist army abducted the students? why did they have to destroy the school? Did many students become child soldiers? How many were killed? When I had arrived, I asked Krishna Bhakta about the school, about the roof, but he was quiet, evasive. That's not like him at all. He just said, we can go see the school tomorrow.
Oh my God. This is the school? It's kind of completely rebuilt.
राम्रो छ स्कुल
This is the school, but it's completely rebuilt. It's still the same kind of structure with a C shape and 2 stories, but they've redone it just amazing.
सेम बनाएको हो सर पहिला
Same भएको,
यहाँ
तर
एउटा
ठुलो भयो.
बारजाली चाहिँ छैन तयारी भएर
एउटा
छैन
विज्ञानको lab छ. And they're going to put a science lab here too.
विज्ञान ल्याब माथि छ सर अब यहाँ चाहिँ कम्प्युटर छ यहाँ
Computer छ.
15-16 वटा छ
This is such a relief. Now it makes sense. From a satellite photo, it looks like the old school has been destroyed, but it's really a new school that's still being built.
पुग्नुको लागि के चाहिन्छ?
अब फेरि बनाउनु पर्छ खै पैसा आउने ठाउँ छैन पैसा धेरै चाहिन्छ
He's saying that to finish it, they just need more money.
बदमास
The primary क्या है?
तपाईले पढाउने उ त्यो
पढाउनु है.
तपाईको स्कुल त्यो कार्यशाला
This was the toughest job I'd ever had. It was hard living in a world so different from anything I'd ever known. 6 days a week, earning just $3 a day, I taught chemistry, health, forestry, even astronomy. I was trying to teach in a language that I barely understood, with almost no equipment. My students, they had never ridden in a car, never seen a movie. They had never experienced electricity. Everyone in the village was seeing a Westerner for the very first time. Not even the other teachers knew what to make of this strange foreigner living amongst them. Years ago, we were a staff of just a dozen teachers. We were underpaid and overworked. I'm shocked that 2 of them, Gobindra and Rahendra, are still here. They don't even recognize themselves in the old pictures. And one of my former 8th grade students, Mahendra, is now teaching here. Back then we were thrilled if anyone passed the national exam. The current headmaster, who was in 3rd grade when I taught here, tells me that the pass rate is now 87%. The school has grown, and Aislukarka has developed in other ways, in ways that I couldn't have imagined. The pipe now brings water down from far away, from up in the mountains. This is way cleaner than the field runoff that we used to drink. Everyone is proud of the water taps that are scattered around the village. And we have electricity, which arrived a couple of years ago, coming from a hydropower generator across the valley. This powers a local rice mill. Our village has a business which we never had before. Plus, they are building a road of sorts that gets washed out each monsoon, making it passable only for motorbikes. One man is responsible for much of this development, Krishna Bhakta. He's the catalyst that makes things happen. And he's the one who originally brought me to Aislukarka. Ram Krishna was one of my top students in 8th grade. He still calls himself number 2 boy. He was one of the kids who worked on our tree planting project to protect Aislukarka's water supply. I remember how he struggled trying to use pliers.
नेपाली बिर्सन भयो क्या हो
बिर्सन सक्छु राम्रोसँग आउँदैन पर आउँछ
अनि हिसाब त आउँछ नि हिसाब सिकाउने बेला आउँछ
हे डेभलप भयो पानी छ
पानी छ
बिजुली
बिजुली
मोटरको बाटो
सब ठीक छ
कम्प्युटर स्कुलमा कम्प्युटर छ
sometimes I have this bizarre feeling that I've slipped in time, that I'm actually back in the 1970s. My whole body trembles uncontrollably, often triggered by a distinctive taste or sound.
कतिको धेरै आनन्द धेरै राम्रो
वर्ष गाएको थियो अस्ति हिजो जस्तै छ अस्ति हिजो
20 वर्ष फर्केर आयो
कतिको ठुलो भयो कहिले सुरु भयो
यो
बनाउने
2 वर्ष अगाडि
2 वर्ष अगाडि
It's the very last day of school before the monsoon break. Everyone will soon be needed out working in the fields. Before they go, I've asked to speak to the 10th grade, hoping to get a comparison to my students from years ago.
Good morning. Sit down. Sit down. 36 वर्षदेखि म पढाउनु स्कुलमा पढाउँदै विज्ञान र म्याथमेटिक्स पढाउने 36 वर्षदेखि म बुढो भएको म कृष्ण भक्तको घरमा बसेँ So do you like school? What is your favorite subject? Maths is your favorite subject. Who likes science? Science, like science, 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 science. Yes! I'm going to wait. You're going to ask me a question.
कक्षामा 50 60 70 जना विद्यार्थी हुन्छ महिलाहरू 2 जना 3 जना हुन्छ अहिले धेरै महिला
You have a question?
तपाईले कति वर्ष पढाउनु भयो?
How many years did I teach here? I teach here for 2 years. 2 years.
I want to ask them about the Maoist takeover of the school, about what happened, but it's too public a group for that.
Now I'm teaching in California.
Later, I did talk privately with a young man who had been one of the abducted students. He said that it all started while he was in history class. Without warning, 100 soldiers surrounded the school carrying rifles. The students didn't know what was going to happen to them. For a week, they were brainwashed with the Maoist way, using forced chanting of slogans and physical exhaustion, intimidation and threats. At the end, 20 of my village's students, 20 of our children were enlisted in the Maoist army, and the rest were let go. The Maoists fought their war with children soldiers.
Okay, I want to thank you very much. I hope you have a great summer. Study hard. Do well on your exams, okay? Okay. Thank you. There they come, Lakita. It's amazing they got the money to do this much. Ru mati mati. Banane.
पैसा भयो भने बनाउने पैसा नभए नबनाउने
Yeah, class baleko. They taught some classes here. It's basically hypotenuse squared is the one length squared plus the other squared.
यो भवन बनाएको राम्रो छ राम्रो छ तपाईलाई यो भवन राम्रो
बनाउन सकिन्छ
यो डिजाइन राम्रो छ
पक्का राम्रो छ.
It's incredible that such a small village has come so far with such a big project. To finish it, we just need money. I don't have a lot of cash on hand, but I'll ask Krishna Bhakta how I can give a donation.
ज्ञान भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पार हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहुजाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छ विशाल अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल.
Isolakarka looks very green now, but years ago, deforestation was a big problem. The loss of trees, besides the need for firewood, harmed our water supply and even threatened the farmland.
And as time went on, the water situation became desperate. And the solution was to try to plant trees. But in an area like this, that's also used for grazing of cows and water buffaloes and goats, if you just plant a tree, the first thing that happens is a goat comes along and eats it. So we decided to make a system of protecting the trees with bamboo strips and wire. Krishna Bhakta and I went all over the neighboring communities collecting bamboo in order to cut the strips. I bought wire in Kathmandu and carried it up to the village, taught students how to use pliers to cut wire and make little rings, and we made all of these little protection rings that protected all of these trees on this hillside. And the result is that it's turned from an area that was pretty much barren into a jungle.
Now the idea of planting trees and managing the forest has taken root. Our water supply and farmland are preserved.
दौडेर बस्दा पानी
Now, after a few days back in Islukarka, I've come to relax with the overall success of the village. The water and electricity and trees in the school are just part of it. Islukarka has survived the war. Most everyone seems happy. For me, each day with my increased fluency, besides thinking in Nepali, I feel more like I belong. I feel accepted. And Islukarka has truly become my home again. More and more I find myself reverting to Nepali habits in how I do things and how I feel about things. I'm not just thinking in Nepali again, I'm becoming Nepali again. It just seems natural. But the one thing that I've never gotten used to is low doorways. One small thing to becoming a real Nepali is to dress like a Nepali. So we're taking that cloth that I bought down in Sipagat and we're headed to the Damai, the tailor.
पाँच नहीं था धागो पनि छ कि मिल्दैन यसको सेतो छ Hello? 10, 12
नेपाल काठमाडौँ नेपाल सोयाबिन दुईटा हुन्छ भने दुईटै सोयाबिन पुग्छ कि हेरौँ
Baba. Kakak
In the old days, Amma did her cooking over an open fire, and the kitchen was full of smoke. We were always breathing smoke, and our eyes were burning. With electricity, it's so much better, healthier. Islukarka and the nearby villages used to be just plain poor, and I was hungry a lot. Now that's all changed. There's much more food and a real variety. Still, the Nepali spices haven't changed, and for 30 years I've been missing this special flavor of Amma's cooking.
मिठो छ आलु मिठो छ सिमी मिठो छ भात पानी सबै मिठो छ सबै मिठो छ प्याज पनि मिठो छ
CLAi चिन्छ CLAi
नमस्कार
उसले चिनिसक्यो
सबै हुनुहुन्छ फिलिप सर हो नि
Word of my homecoming has been spreading. My old students, they've been traveling from all around to see me, to see Philip, sir. Well, all this nostalgia is nice. What we really need is something to do. Watching all these old guys, my former students, running across the field, I'm impressed by what they've become, despite the odds. Some of them actually made it to university. Surendra has become a drinking water engineer. Shambhu Thapa is an international banker.
Hey, goal.
Trulochan Prasad is a government official. And my very top student, Ram Prasad Nepal, is now the headmaster of his home village school. Many of my students have become teachers. I'm proud of them. Today, because of a training meeting, teachers have come from all around the district. Shockingly, a third of the teachers in the district are my former students. If I have left any kind of lasting outcome from my Peace Corps experience, this is it. Sadly, I have just a couple of days left in Islukarka. There are only a few more things to do. And it looks like my little donation to help build the school has turned into a formal affair. The headmaster himself has requested that I write an official declaration in the school's history ledger.
My family and friends and fellow educators in Islukarka, I've been overwhelmed by the kind reception you have all given me even after 30 years apart from you. Developments in the school and the community are incredible. The new school building, the great improvement in SLC past results, is a testament to all your hard work and dedication. The community has developed in ways that I hadn't imagined. The road is coming through, houses have electricity so women don't have to cook in a smoky kitchen, also saving the trees that protect the soil. I look forward to seeing continued future developments. I love you all and can never forget you.
यो गरी भाइसले मद्दत गर्न सकिन्छ।
Thank you, sir.
I've donated all the extra money I have. It's just $1,200, which will be enough to finish one room, and we'll need many times that to complete the whole school. Ironically, the day before I have to leave, my court is finished. I'm finally gonna look like I belong.
जस्मी बच्चा
दुध दुहेको
ए दुध दिएको
भैँसीको त्यहाँ बगैँचामा
Getting milk from the
Surendra.
water buffalo.
Yes,
With
Surendra. Surendra. कसरी हाँसेर बसिरहेको माले रक्सी पारेको यो
Making alcohol. Muy feliz que sim. Esto just. Huh? Yeah. But here,
हामी सबै बसेर पनि खेल्ने
How many do blow to you?
रश्मिता खा हाम्रो तेन्जेन शेर्पाले चर्यो हिमाल चुचुरो गम्केर बजाऊ खैजौरी झम्केर नाचौ मजुरो गम्केर बजाऊ खैजौरी झम्केर नाचौ मजुरो हाम्रो तेन्जेन शेर्पाले चर्यो हिमाल चुचुरो.
It's my last night. I came here searching for my family, searching for Nepal, perhaps trying to come home again. But more than anything else, I found a part of myself, Philip, sir. I wish that I could somehow capture it all, every detail of Aislukarka, so that I could hold it in my mind for all time.
बस्नुहोस् मसँग एउटा प्रेजेन्ट तपाईँको लागि
I have a gift for Krishna Bhakta and my family. A copy of the book that I wrote years ago about our life together in Aislukarka. This is their first time to see it. It's the only way that I could think of to truly honor them.
30 वर्ष अगाडि म यो किताब लेखे आइसुलकरको बारेमा मेरो परिवारको बारेमा हेर्नुहोस् अच्छा हाम्रो फोटो
30 वर्ष भयो घर जानुहुन्छ
तपाईँको घर तपाईँ
यहाँको घर छ
यहाँको घर हामी यहाँ बस्दैछ र तपाईँ टोपी लगाउनु तपाईँहरू मेरो परिवार जस्तै होइन तपाईँहरू मेरो पुरो परिवार हो
बच्चा कतिवटा छन्
एउटा
छोरा
छोरी
लिएर आउनु पर्यो नि त
हुन्छ
हामीलाई धेरै राम्रो लाग्छ नि हेर्न पर्दा नि
ल हामी जाने ल नमस्ते आउँछु
I should feel joyous, reconnecting with my family and having seen the progress of the village. But at the moment, all I feel is the pain of departure. Only with time will everything be okay. I feel emotionally lost, stretched between two worlds. Krishna Bhakta is silent as we walk away from the village. We both know that there's no words that can be said. All I know is that I must come back to Aislukarka. I need to come back.